Hi everyone, it's Alex Stevenson here from Ninja Teacher, and I'm out here in Da Nang City. We've been having a little bit of rain. It is rainy season coming on now. There was actually a tropical depression heading towards us. It veered off a bit and I think it's become a tropical storm. But anyway, that's why it's a little overcast at the moment. So I thought I'd take this chance to talk a bit about some of the opportunities to teach English abroad right now and the top 3 options that you can actually start teaching English abroad right now in 2021. So I'm going to go over what countries these are, and bear in mind these are the top 3 based on our experience of actually helping people move abroad this year to these countries. So we have been helping people move to these countries and we are continuing to do so. So of course there are other options out there, I'm sure, but these are the ones I can talk about based on experience and that are actually viable to move abroad to and start teaching English in right now. So a couple of disclaimers before I dive right into them. There are a lot of changes happening at the moment, so this information might not stay up to date. So this is current information as of right now, as of the time of this video being released. So bear that in mind. And the second one is that moving abroad right now and starting to teach English in countries in Asia definitely requires some flexibility and adaptability. So there's going to be obstacles along the way, and there are going to be regular changes in all the restrictions happening in different countries. So you really just have to realize that this is going to come with the territory. But to be honest, this is not something that's really changed overall with living abroad and teaching English abroad. You've always had to have that ability to just adapt and go along with things. It comes with the territory if you are deciding to move abroad and live abroad. So just something to bear in mind, but hopefully we're also seeing very positive changes in the way things are going. So just bear that in mind as I get into these different options. Well, there's that rain I was talking about. Bad timing to start filming a video. Okay, so the first option we've got is next door in Cambodia. Now, Cambodia still has a hotel quarantine required. It is a 14-day hotel quarantine right now, and it costs about $1,300. So it's not that cheap, but that does include all the meals and the testing. The tricky thing about Cambodia right now is they aren't issuing tourist visas, so you actually have to get a special sponsorship to get into the country, and that's something we've been helping the people that we've got there this year do. But otherwise it might be a bit difficult for you to actually get that visa. Now, the good thing about Cambodia is the vaccination rates there are very high, with I think about 66% of the population fully vaccinated, which is great. And while there have been on and off lockdowns, it does seem like schools are going to be opening very soon, and hopefully restrictions lifting more across the country with that very high vaccination rate. And if you do start teaching there during this time, you'll likely be teaching online to start. And then after that, as schools move back to in-person, then you'll switch to in-person. And the rates seem to be lower, what they're paying teachers to be teaching online right now. But hopefully soon things will get to the point where you can actually go back into schools. Another good thing about Cambodia is you don't need to have a bachelor's degree to work legally in Cambodia. And that's one of the few countries in Asia where you can actually do that and teach legally without a bachelor's degree. Okay, and then number 2, we have Indonesia. And I've made a video quite recently about Indonesia. Since I made that video, they actually stopped issuing the visas to get into the country for a little while, but now they have started to reissue those visas, and the quarantine has gone from 5 days to 8 days hotel quarantine, so you would have to pay for that as well. And we actually have a few students that signed up through us that are starting their TEFL course in Bali through our partner there, and they're actually starting on Monday, and they got there successfully, which is great. So it's good to see people arriving and making it to Bali right now. And they did just announce that flights straight to Bali will resume. Typically you'd have to go past Jakarta. At the moment it seems like it's only a few select nationalities that can go straight to Bali, but that's also nice to see. Hopefully they'll increase that list and it'll be easier to fly straight there. Okay, and then last but not least, we have Thailand, which is one of my favorite countries. Thailand is beautiful. I've spent a lot of time in Thailand, and Thailand is looking like a very good option right now for a couple of reasons. One is their commitment to now open up things and start living with the virus and not doing extreme lockdowns anymore, so that's a good sign. And then the second is that it's actually quite easy and relatively cheap to get into Thailand right now. The quarantine is only 7 days right now, and there's two options. The first one is the Phuket sandbox, which actually allows you to go to Phuket Island and stay there for 7 days, and you can freely go around the island. You don't have to stay in your hotel, so not much of a quarantine actually, which is really nice. And it's actually relatively cheap. There's a list of approved hotels, and if you browse through them, you'll see options for as little as $100 for that full 7 days for the hotel. Most of them range between 100 to 200 up to 300. Obviously there's some very pricey options too, but the fact that you can get 7 days of accommodation for $100 to $300 is really great. That doesn't include meals or the mandatory testing, and there is mandatory insurance that you have to do as well, but that's quite a cheap and relatively painless option if you want to get into Thailand, and you can get a tourist visa, and then after those 7 days you can go around the rest of the country. The second option is to go to Bangkok and do a 7-day hotel quarantine, which is not that bad either price-wise. Usually it'll be about $500 to $600 for the 7 days, but that actually includes all of the meals and the testing, so not that bad overall, and then you're in Bangkok. So again, you're likely going to be teaching online for a company to start, as not many schools are open yet, but then as things improve, you would shift to in-person once you get a job in Thailand. So like most countries in Southeast Asia, the best way to get a job is to arrive in the country, interview in person, and land the job. If you have all the relevant qualifications, a TEFL teaching certification, a degree in the case for Thailand and Indonesia, then you can get a job within the country. If you'd like some help with this process of getting started teaching in one of these 3 countries, you can check out ninjateacher.com. We've got programs for those who have not yet completed a TEFL certification, as well as those that actually have one already, which includes in-person orientation and help with finding a job, some practical teaching hours, and then also the full 4-week in-person training courses in these countries if you haven't yet done a TEFL certification. And we have our online teacher training course if you'd like to do things online and then come out and find a job by yourself as well. And if you are interested in getting started teaching English in Thailand, we are actually having a special right now, a discount on the full 4-week in-person TEFL training course, which is happening in Bangkok right now through our partner. So you can check out the dates and program details on ninjateacher.com and check out the discounts if you want to sign up before the 31st of October for a future course date. Even if it's next year, you'll get that discount. So check that out if you're interested. Okay, so if you have any questions, leave a comment below and I'll try to get back to them. And if you are interested in more videos about life in Vietnam, life teaching English abroad and countries in Asia, make sure to stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.